Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to hear this Tuesday morning. Got a big show lined up as always. But first, our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. It's wet, like we said yesterday. I know we've had a ton of rain. We've had, if you looked over the rainfall totals that we had on Monday, or after Sunday and on into Monday, over a foot in some places. And you know, we always talk about it. Just always be careful. We're talking about on the roads and streets, but a lot of folks get out in the woods and all, and just to get out. So that's when you really got to look out for the washouts, because if you fall, you get in trouble there and don't have your cell phone or something, you can be in serious trouble running off those dirt roads and all that where they're washed out. So that's the first folks I always think about, people getting out in the woods and just exploring where they've normally been. All of a sudden, the road is washed out under you. So if you're an outdoorsman, you know what I'm talking about. All right, high today 76, low 59. Water temperature, let's have the drum roll. 60 degrees, 60.2 to be exact. First time this year it's hit 60 degrees. So we're looking good right there. Now, the river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood, and as you can imagine, they're sky high. They're just the Apalachicola, Bluntstown, right at 16 foot this morning, and the Choctaw Caryville right at 15 foot. And like I say, that rain is just really, we've just been inundated with the rain. And we got some more today, and hopefully it'll get on out of here. It's interesting watching this system come. It came in one way, and then on the eastern side is a high pressure area, pushing it back, and that's where we're getting, we're going to get it because what it dictates. Now don't forget our river readings brought to us by Sandhill Seafood. Sometimes I forget to mention those fine folks up there and good fresh seafood. But that pressure, it was on the northeastern side of us, going to push back, and that's where the wind, marine forecast will be northeast today, and then swapping to be an east-northeast. So what's going on, that pressure pushing back this way, and that's what's going to bring the remaining rain and all. But looking at the rest of the week, we'll have a better handle on it tomorrow. We're going to have looks like a good week. It's going to be wet, and one meteorologist said it's going to get up close to 80 degrees by the weekend. That'd be the first warm break we've had. Okay, marine forecast, like I just said, 5 to 10 out of the northeast and go east-northeast. Let's take a break, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's get started with our first picture, and this is a special one to me because last Friday I had an opportunity to go down to East Point, down in Franklin County, at the Franklin County Alternative School. Miss Forrest Massey, the teacher there, she and her husband watch the show on a regular basis, and she had invited me down, and I finally got time to get down there, and this is a classroom picture, and I gave a little motivational talk to them, and here are the students. We got it. They're not in particular order. I'm just going to call out their name. Xavier and Lee, Star, Chandler, Audrey, Sarah, Jamal, and Tiasia, also known as Pink. So that's a good little group of kids, and I wish you the very best, and certainly enjoyed being down there with you. And Miss Forrest Massey, accolades to you, and you just keep on keeping on helping young people. And I always admire teachers. Ironically, we got to talking, and she's originally from Chattahoochee, and graduated from the high school over there, and actually graduated with a cousin of mine. So small world, and she's been around teaching and motivating young people for quite some time, almost not quite as long as I did, but she really does a good job there. So thank you for doing that. And I don't know, let me go and mention now, I have more time now to go out and do talks. I'm going to South Walton soon and to talk to their school system over some of the kids over there in South Walton High School. And I have a couple of different types of talk. This was a motivational talk. If you notice, looking back at that picture, I've got some bricks and all. It's just a talk that I call it my Drew McLean talk, and it's because it's motivational for young people. And from all my years working with young people, I sort of put this together after I retired, and it's a good talk. It goes over real well on the characteristics and the traits we want young people to build their life on, and what we don't want them to build. You see the broken bricks there, what we don't want them to do, and the solid bricks, what we do want them to do. So it fell into place. It's a good little talk. So just give me a call if you'd like me to come do a motivational talk. I feel like it's one of my callings, and I enjoy doing it, and I'll be glad to come over and do that. Okay? Now move along to, I got some more pictures here. We got all kinds of stuff we got to get done today. Let me, one of the things We'll just start with the pictures here. Let me see what we got. All right, let's get some buck pictures. Okay, how about Ron Mills sent this to me and wanted me to put it, I put a name in on today, but didn't show his buck. Good job, Ron Mills. Okay, Mitch Coleman sent this. I thought this was just a neat little story. Y'all remember Mitch over here in Mexico Beach? It helps us out on the fishing report. Daffodils are blooming, so spring fishing is near. These are from bulbs planted on my mother's childhood home in Webster County, Mississippi, 80 years ago. Thanks to cousin Tommy Hightower for meeting me there last spring to dig them up. So that's special, and those bulbs really go, you know, they'll last and last and last. And when you get something from the old home place, it's special. Good job, Mitch. Got this from Steve Crowder. Hey, Coach, this is Steve Crowder from Fort Gaines, Georgia. The crappie is starting to bite good here in the lake. And please enter my name and my wife Alice to your drawing. So that's just a fishing report from over there at Fort Gaines, Georgia. Okay, we got, this is Eric and Susie Pitts. This is Susie Pitts on a nice buck. She is a good hunter, and I know she enjoys that. She loves to fish and hunt with her husband, Eric Pitts. Known Eric for a long time, good folks there. Thought it's a good idea, a walker for retired fishermen. Now, that's a neat idea. Got anchor rope on it, got all kinds of little things. And you keep you in the mood of fishing anyway. I like that. Paul Winterman, we know we had him on last week. Got a lot of comments on Paul being here. This is at St. Andrews State Park and Hanger with this catch, also known as the snakebird. The swim, okay, just past, okay, what they'll do, isn't that a great picture out there? He tossed it up, and what is that? He's got to get it head first so he can swallow it. He'll choke if you don't get it head first. Great action shot there. You would think that a $500 bow and arrows, $1,500 gun and scope, $600 hunting clothes, $200 boots, $200 tree stand, $300 in licenses, $25,000 four-wheel truck. We can tell how old this is. You want to say $50,000 four-wheel truck, $6,000 four-wheeler, $12,000 camper. Again, that'd be a $20,000 camper. Would produce a little more meat. So that little spike not impressing his wife, but the thought is still the same. Okay, I've got a couple of others. Oh, don't forget, I'm going to show this every now and then. My fishing rod that was taken, if you run across anybody with a fishing rod with this kind of orange and green, this is one that we talked about before. It was made for me by one of my students, Mark McLean, and I would certainly like to have it back. And okay, and here's a throwback picture I ran across the other day. This is my daughter, Wendy, so you know how long ago this was. What's special is I'm with her. We did a lot of things when she was like, you know, small, really before Chip came along. And then we had two people in the canoe. But what I want to show in this canoe, I actually built this canoe from scratch. And you can't tell much about it, but I built a frame, and I didn't know what to do, and I just, you know, figured out, got angles and cut things at angles, and got some, that's fiberglass sheets, very thin, then I fiberglassed over them. And I used that for years. Didn't have a lot of money to buy. I couldn't even afford a canoe, so I just built one. So that's one of my special. I love that picture there because it just sort of shows where we were at that point in time in our life. Clay Patrick down on the Chattahoochee River. Okay, they're catching some big blue catfish on the Chattahoochee River. I mean, right now, right before the water started rising. We're talking about water rising. This is interesting. This is okay. Up at Falling Water State Park up in Chippewa. This is normally how it looks, okay? After the rain, that's it right there. Okay, let's go back to how this is normally how it looks, and that was just a downpour in that area, and that's how it looks right there. Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I'm always fascinated, you know, with sharks, and I'm fascinated with everything outdoors. I guess that's why I can sit here every day and talk about it, because I just love it. And each animal and fish is unique in their own way. But, you know, we talked about sharks before, and what got me thinking about it recently, I just saw an article where Daytona Beach, the Volusia County area, Daytona Beach, New Smyrna, again, ranks at #1 in the world as far as shark attacks. And they had like 9 last year. None of them were fatal. And, of course, they're using excuses that some of the surfers are down there, but there are surfers all along the Atlantic coast. But anyway, so I'll go to my shark tracker. I have an app, and you can get your app. It's called Shark Tracker. And they actually track these sharks. I've done this before, and we're going to do it every now and then, 2 or 3 times a year. we're going to zoom in on shark tracker at different times of the year. So these are little, okay, all these little pings and all, these are when they come aboard, they'll come up top and little pings to the satellite, and they'll locate them. And this is really cool. So I've narrowed it down to Florida. So I'm going to pull up. There's one up over here, one of the closest ones is right here, okay? And her name is Savannah, a female. That's a great white shark, okay? It was tagged in 2017. Now, they saw it January 31st. That was like, what, 10 days ago? So they got that ping there. Well, at school, okay, I'm gonna view the track. Now, here's where she came from. She was up in Nova Scotia. Check that out. And she's been back and forth. She comes along the whole, look at there. But here's what's fast. I was looking at this last night. I'm gonna just, when she got into Florida, I'm gonna show you how fast she'll travel. You know, I always say something around that Savannah and South Carolina area. They really hang around there, but you don't hear a lot of attacks there. I guess not the people swimming. Okay, on January the 1st at 4:56 p.m., she came up right there, right east of where she is now, okay? So then I'm going to go to, this is January, 8 days later, in the morning, she came up at 3:31 a.m., so it's different times, okay? And then move on down, January the 14th, okay? All right, now you notice that when you see that, she's feeding. January 21st, about a week at a time, she's obviously following the food, and then she goes straight west, and she does that like in one day. She goes from that point A to point B right there in one day. And so obviously she got some warm water, got a current behind her. And then, of course, that's where she is now. So then I just want to look at that. So then I go back, let's go back I wanted to show you one of the other areas. Let me see, full screen. Because now this is a great white shark. So we're going to go back. And the reason they find out that all this information, because they get that satellite signal. And the other one is a bull shark, and I may not be, it's just going to be real slow this morning, but okay, I want to, see the one in Tallahassee? You got to figure, I'm going to leave that one for you to figure out. The one right above it is a bull shark, and then one I thought was fascinating. Look up here, right in the middle of the screen at the Great Lakes. Now, how in the world, so the first thing I'm thinking of is going up the Mississippi River and all that, but something don't look right. So I punched it in last night, and here's what it is. It's a display from the Shark Institute. They're just doing a display. So I said, well, I'm gonna view the track, and here's what they've done. They've gone across the country, so you can see. Obviously, no, the shark's not gonna do that, but I thought that was really cool. They just have a dinosaur shark display. So I thought that was cool. So anyway, and I could go on and on, but you know, on occasion, each season, the fall, winter, spring, and summer, we'll try to locate these sharks for you. Unless one gets really close, then we're going to stop and get a real good picture of them, okay? Now, also, let's look at the FWC meeting last week. A couple of things came out of it. One thing, as the snapper dates, that's always just a big thing. The snapper dates have not been determined. They came out of meeting TBD, to be determined. Of course, you know, that's the state folks, and the federal folks haven't done theirs yet, so neither one of them. I've heard all kinds of things. Nothing's been official. Anywhere from 22 days to 60 days or whatever, and all kind of different. It's a changing process each year, so we'll keep you informed on it, just as we did on the scallop season. If you remember, over 3 weeks ago, we announced the scallop dates, and because I talked to researchers, and by the way, I'm going out with the FWC folks soon, and going out on St. Joe Bay, and we're going to do some planning, and I'm just going to film it, and we'll have a good show from that. But what I was going to tell you, the big thing on the scallop season is just exactly we said it was. Okay, so they came out with this a couple weeks ago, and I went ahead and announced it, but now it's been approved. So Gulf County will be August 17th through September 30th. And then also change, you can see the others too, but the other TV station had it on this past weekend, but I was proud of Panhandle Outdoors, and we got it on early, so y'all could make your plans and all, but scallop season is right around the corner. Used to be July 1st. So snapper season and scallop season. Snapper to be determined, but scallop is all set. And as far as the other species, there's some changes coming along on the season, but nothing dramatic. I looked at the notes and all. They didn't come up with a lot of changes on anything in particular. Okay, let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at our fishing game times for today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, fine folks down in Port St. Joe. Our time's 10:18 to 12:18 this morning, and this evening from 10:42 to 12:42. And here is an article on the shark attacks from the International Shark Attack file that says, you know, like I just showed you, Volusia County is, and that's that county right there. And one thing in this article too, the guy that founded the shark attack file has retired. So it's been, so they got a new guy in there. So I've been down there and visiting different places. I'm gonna one day drop in and see, you know, hands-on kind of things and come back and talk to you. But let's go from sharks to deer. There were actually chills sent through the deer hunting community and organizations through this past weekend, because what they have found, folks, has been the chronic wasting disease, and we've talked about it here on the show, and how, you know, how so many biologists are concerned over this. Well, it has been documented. They now have it in Mississippi. Okay, here's an article here. I had to look at a couple different articles. This just happened. This was February 9th. They come out, chronic wasting disease confirmed in a Mississippi white-tailed deer. And they really, this is just, you know, sent shockwaves throughout the community. And went on and talked about it in Occoquan County. And so they've closed several counties immediately, and it's just it's a really big deal. The deer was collected on January 25th, and it was, here's, you know, we talked about it, and you stop and think now, Mississippi is right next to Alabama, and Alabama's right next to Florida, and we're right next to Georgia. So it has been sort of in the Midwest. They found it in Arkansas a little while back, but how it got in Mississippi, no one knows, and but here's the deal, it's 100% fatal. Now, most diseases are not 100% fatal. This one is. And once it gets in a deer herd population, it can spread. And they're really concerned about it. So make sure that you're aware of it. Make sure in the transportation of meat and all that, you know, the hides and everything, that, you know, you know the rules and what needs to be done on it. And it really upsets some folks and all. Okay, so it's gonna get, I'm afraid it's gonna get worse before it gets better. All right, I got a couple of names I was going to add. I had somebody call me the other day. They said they won something. Couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember either. I had to come back to my notes. Randy McElreath, Panama City Beach. Okay, Cindy McElreath, Panama City Beach, and Betty McElreath, Panama City Beach. One of the things I mentioned in yesterday's show, some of the things you think about in a tree stand or tree blind, you know, about what's going on, and I mentioned the pine trees, how fast do they grow? Well, I couldn't help but to look it up last night, you know, because I said, you know, they look like they're growing a foot. Well, that's about what they do. Pine trees, the average growth, according to the tree experts, the average pine tree will grow each year from 8 inches to 12 inches, according to the species and according to the amount of rain that it's gotten. If you notice, if you're on a little hill and those pine trees down on the bottom of that hill, they're always going to grow faster and taller, of course, because of the moisture and all. So that answers your question, in case some of y'all couldn't sleep last night and wonder how fast a pine tree grows. And you stop and think, that doesn't sound like much, but what happens when you hunt one area, and this is what's happened to me. I've hunted one area, then this year I moved to another area, and that's when I really noticed the pine trees growing. It's been like 3 years. Well, those trees have grown about almost 3 foot, and that's where I was coming from yesterday when we were talking about what I was talking about in a tree stand. Now, I don't know, Sunday afternoon, when that storm was coming through, we had some lightning hit, and it was close by. And what fascinated everybody, you don't think about winter lightning that much. And I was reading up on it last night, and you know, we do have plenty of winter lightning. And the big thing about it, so I looked it up, and I want to share this with you. Lightning always produced by thunder. Here's some just questions that were answered for us. Of course, is it possible to have thunder without lightning? Nope. So every time you hear thunder, there's been lightning somewhere, because you know that's what causes that streak comes down, those molecules exploding. So lightning always produced by thunderstorms. Yes. What causes thunder? And of course, we just talked about that, and I'm going to go into all the details. What is dry lightning? Dry lightning occurs without rain nearby, and we get a lot of that around here ahead of time. It's called dry because it's sort of out in front of the thunderstorm. Now, this is Noah answering these questions for us. Okay, here's another one. What is a bolt from the blue? You know, we've heard that before. If you're an outdoorsman, you've seen a bolt from the blue, and that's the ones that scare us. Lake Okeechobee. We talked about that recently. Had them down there. Cloud. It's the cloud to ground flash, which typically comes out of the back. It comes out of the backside of thunderstorm. That's why we don't see it a lot. But they're really a lot of times bicyclists and all lightning flashes have been documented to travel more than 25 miles away. That's what's amazing. You got a thundercloud here, and 25 miles away, it'll come out of the back and go down. So that it's been documented to have done that. Okay. Let's see. I have that one. Bolt to the blue. Does lightning always strike the tallest object? We've always been told that. You know, don't stand around the tallest tree. Well, it doesn't necessarily strike the tallest objects, okay? It makes sense that it does, and most of the time it will, okay? So, but it's not always strike the tallest one. How many volts are in lightning? 100 million to 1 billion is just, you know, it's a lot, enough to kill you. One more page of it. How many? Okay, what are the positive lightning bolts deemed more? Why are positive deemed more dangerous than the most common negatively? You know, some are charged negatively, some are charged positively, but the positive ones are more strong because they're just stronger. Okay, and it comes out. Okay, does lightning strike from the sky down or the ground up? The answer is both. Okay, it looks like it's coming down this way, but also the charge is coming from the ground and from the lightning here. And like I say, wintertime lightning is not that many strokes, but they can. Why is it colored sometimes instead of white or blue? And according to what's in the environment, the atmosphere, how does the Earth benefit from lightning? You know, it helps maintain electrical balance. I didn't know all that. What happens to the ground when lightning strikes it? Well, the ground is glass rock. It sort of melts. What happens to the ground? Okay, and that's enough on. I got more, but I'm gonna run out of time. I may answer the last question too tomorrow. So, you know, be aware of lightning in the wintertime. A lot of times we don't think about it, but it does. Sunday afternoon, I got me one of them hit. I live on North Bay, like one of them over at 231. It was just boom, loud. So y'all might have heard it too. All right, let's wrap it up. We got a big show lined up tomorrow. Do something good for your fellow man today and enjoy the great outdoors. And as always, you know, look around and be thankful for what we have. Have a great day and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.